Hi, I'm Jade.
And I'm Jack, and we're presenting our group's work exploring puberty, gender roles, and sexuality. Alira begins by highlighting the changes of puberty in males. Puberty in males typically occurs between the ages of 10 and 13 and a half. Male pubescent development occurs in the following order. The penis and testicles grow, pubic hair begins to develop, vocal cords develop, and the voice deepens. The first ejaculation occurs, height and weight increase, hair grows under the armpits, and other body hair is formed. Testosterone is known as the key hormone that generates the path of puberty that males experience. It is primarily involved in the deepening of the voice and the increase in height. The pubic hair begins to form after genitals have already developed. Once formed, it develops at a faster pace compared to the developing of the genitals. Alira was able to watch the physical changes of a male person in her life throughout his course of puberty. He had begun puberty when he was 11 and a half years of age, and he is now 18 years old. Alira was able to see him develop from an early adolescent into a man in the space of 6 years, fully being able to witness the changes in his height, weight, and facial features and the sound of his voice.
Jasmine explored female puberty. Puberty refers to the maturation of the reproductive systems. The physical changes include breast growth and growth spurts beginning at approximately the age of 11 and ending at around 13 or 14. Pubic hair becomes visible, as well as armpit hair, hips widen, and lastly, women experience their first menstrual cycle. A form of estrogen is associated with the muscular and breast and skeletal development. Some females start puberty earlier than others, and this experience can be linked to a variety of factors including biology, adoption, diet, maternal harshness, child maltreatment, conflict within family, and many more. Early and late maturation can be linked to body image. A reason to believe this are such things as girls who mature early often appear to be short and stocky, whereas later maturing girls can appear to be tall and thin.
And I will be exploring gender roles. To begin with, let's look at some definitions. Gender, gender identity, and gender stereotypes are on the screen behind me. A gender role is the adoption of a gender stereotype. Rigid patterns of behaviour can develop, limiting opportunities to make new choices. Through observation, children imitate and learn behaviours. Bandura's 1961 Bobo doll experiment is an example of learning behaviours through observation. During high school, I was bullied. The gender stereotypes I held were different to the gender stereotypes of the bullies. My self-worth and my self-esteem were damaged, causing lifelong impact. This is an example of how rigid gender stereotypes can negatively affect children. Parents, family, friends, and the community model gender roles that influence the development of gender stereotypes. Media also significantly influences gender role stereotypes. Is it important to raise children with an awareness of gender stereotypes that will enable them to choose conformity or difference within themselves and others?
I discussed the gender spectrum. Gender is essentially a label we identify with based on our degree of masculinity or femininity. In contemporary society, there are social expectations of femininity and masculinity, and their correlation with being labelled male or female, as shown on this gender spectrum. Gender differs from sex and sexual orientation because it is not based on our anatomy or sexual attraction, rather who we are and what we like determining our identity. There are a range of different gender identifiers and pronouns individuals identify with as shown. I personally identify as female and therefore am cisgender. Cisgender is the most common and much more accepted within society than other identifiers. Due to this, I haven't personally had to face any of the hardships often associated with gender identity. It is vital for individuals' health and development to be able to express and explore their gender identity. However, in today's society, many young people through family, peer and societal pressures are unable to do so, thus resulting in very alarming statistics of self-harm, suicide, mental health issues, homelessness, abuse, and other factors. These factors massively stunting the development and quality of life.
Jonty talks about sexuality. Sexuality is an integral part of who we are, and there are many different forms. Sexuality includes how we experience intimacy, touch, love, compassion, joy, and sorrow. The initial stages of sexual development are often remembered as a confusing yet nostalgic part of our lives. We encounter new thoughts, new emotions, and new sensations. Jonty found guidance around these natural progressions was almost non-existent, and he had to gather information from schoolyard dialogue and the media. Beginning to think about sex in early teens is common for boys, with 66% of 13 to 14-year-olds reporting sexual fantasies, but much less common for girls of the same age, with a report rate of 15%. Masturbation rates increase. 69% of Year 10, 11 and 12 students engage in some form of sexual activity, whilst 34% participate in sexual intercourse. 41% of teens find help in regards to sexual education through a female friend, and 36% seek assistance from their mother. Outside of personal relationships, 43% of teens turn to the internet or school systems for guidance, and 45% of students found sexual education highly relevant. 1 in 10 students believe they received no information on the topic whilst at school.
That concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.